As the bell rings on this Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lower Bucks, we bid you good morning. Good morning. How'd you like your sprummer? Yeah? Your sprummer. It was spring still, but we felt summer in this past week. My name is Karen Marcus, and I have the pleasure of being your lay leader for the service this morning. Each Sunday, through September through to May, we gather as a small but vibrant spiritual community centered on love. We bolster one another through messages and music that underscore the values we hold as a faith. Most importantly, we welcome all that enter our space, and we encourage one another to live lives that will better our world. So from wherever you have joined us today, whether you're here in person at Penn Ren or with us on Zoom, we are glad that you are here. Our April Soul Matters theme is Embracing Possibility. This year's Soul Matter theme had us contemplating hope, resistance, and resilience through our winter months. But now, as we start to feel the warmth of spring, we awaken ourselves to focus anew on the birth or rebirth and the beauty of possibility. It's easy to notice how fast things can fall apart. They fall apart faster than they take to build. We are living through a time when many are tempted to withdraw, to numb themselves, to believe that nothing that they will do matters. But historical wisdom insists that how we live in the midst of a breakdown is what will shape what becomes more possible afterwards. Commit yourself to the present. Loosen your grip on the life that you had before a loss, before an upheaval, before a change that called everything into question, so that you can be here, where you're needed, right now. Things are not the same. They're constantly changing. This then is an invitation to leave behind old habits and patterns that no longer serve us, and then we can unlock the gates of freedom by paying attention, by being curious, by asking questions that open up the doors of our imagination so that we can see what is possible. So I'd like to invite Andrew Pujanowski. Probably didn't get that close enough, but he'll correct me if I did, to light our chalice this morning. Welcome to a new story. Welcome to a day unwritten. We gather to speak of possibility. We remember the losses. We celebrate the victories. We embrace the possible over the probable, weaving a story of hope. Join us in the new story. Join us in the day unwritten. Join us in the future of possibility. Thank you, Andrew. That's words from the Reverend Dr. David Breeden. And as you can see, Avi's not with us again today, but he does such a wonderful job each and every week providing us with a musical program, whether he's here in person or with us on video. So let us listen to his selection for our prelude this morning. He picked I Can See Clearly Now by Jimmy Cliff.
Good morning to everybody here in this room and on this Zoom. It is always a pleasure to make music with you wherever you are. I wanted to start out this morning with a song that was written by a songwriter from Houston, Texas named John Lester Nash. But you might know this song as made famous by the Jamaican artist Jimmy Cliff. And this morning I wanted to enter us in with a warm version of this song, reminding us to look for the light, even when it seems dark. I can see clearly now. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. And all of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day.
That was a song that was popular during my college days. That took me back. You know, I would sing that as I would sit and look out the window from my dorm room. Hope it brought good memories to you. We welcome back as a guest speaker this morning, Mark Bernstein. Mark is a faithful member of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Delaware County in Media, Pennsylvania, but he considers UUFLB as his second spiritual home, and we adopt him as a very, very strong friend of the fellowship. As a former staff member of the Central East region of the UUA and now adjunct staff, he offers his experience, guidance, and words of inspiration to UU congregations both locally and across the country, and we've been beneficiary of some of that advice, and we are very grateful for that. His sermon title today is Moments of Light and Dark, and he provides this description. Agreeing to live in the world means accepting moments of joy as well as moments of sorrow. If there are miracles, they are of our own making and carry with them the risk of both triumph and failure. The only thing that is possible is the attempt. Before we hear Mark's sermon message, though, let us invite Bill Appleton to read a message for all ages.
Good morning. I've got a real good story for you today. We're a very artistic community here at UUFLB as far as music, painting, pottery, interior design, even how Mike kind of sets this up. So before I start this story, quick question, does anybody out there feel that they're not artistically inclined? We got a couple. All right. Well, this story is called The Dot. What's that got to do with art? Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I can't draw. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper, studied it carefully. She pushed the paper to Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. Vashti thought for a moment, well, maybe I can't draw, but I can write my name. And she signed her name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with yellow, and she discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. And Vashti splashed her colors with a big brush on a big paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot, actually painting around the dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite the splash. So, hopefully you can see all the paintings that are out there from this magnificent artist, Vashti. Vashti noticed the little boy gazing up at her. You're really a great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashti. Me, not me. I can't draw. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashti smiled, handed the boy a blank sheet of paper and said, show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew the line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, please sign it. Thank you.
It's a great message for all ages. Before we sing the kids out to their RE class, I just wanted to mention, I have the pleasure of picking some of those stories, and those books are available. I'm not going to be wanting to hang on to them, so I wanted to make an offer that if this resonates with you, or you have a young person in your life and you want to take this story or the one from last week home with you, I invite you to take that from our coffee hour. So now let's sing our children off to RE class with a version of Go Now in Peace.
Please join me in singing Go Now in Peace. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of us surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
So now we enter the core of our spiritual hour together, and it's my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Mark Bernstein, to our lectern. He'll begin with a reading, and then we'll listen to a musical interlude that Avi prepared for us by video recording. The title of that song is You'll Find the Light by David Ramirez. And then Mark will return with his sermon message, which I'll remind you is titled Moments of Light and Dark. Mark?
Thank you, Karen. Good morning. It's great to be back again. The opening reading is a poem by a man named Don Badgley. What is not a miracle? Must I look to the stars or holy books, or measure my poor understanding by the infinite unknown? Must I witness the healing of the lame or blind or the raising of the dead? Is the air I breathe not wonder enough? And is my own clear sight an insufficient gift? To perceive the falling leaf or sunlight captured by the dew? Should I discount the scent of rain in spring, or the music of spoken love, or the fullness of the universe just beneath the petal of a rose? The words of Don Badgley.
Wish upon you grace, I wish upon you peace, I wish for less of what you want and more of what you need. I wish upon you an old life with a heart that stays young, but most of all I wish upon you love. Wish upon you truth, when all you feel is doubt. I hope you know that an open mind still knows when to shut things out. I wish upon you a brave heart that will always rise above, but most of all I wish upon you love. As the sun sets and the moon begins to rise, so even in the darkness you'll find the light. You'll find the light. You'll find the light. You'll find the darkness, you'll find the light. I wish upon you an easy life, I wish upon you hard times. I hope you both, that both joy and pain each need their moment to shine. I wish you ears that are quick to listen, that you're slow to use that tongue. Most of all I wish upon you love. As the sun sets and the moon begins to rise, even in the darkness you'll find the light. You'll find the light. You'll find the light. Find the light.
Even on video, he's a tough act to follow, I'm telling you. Many of you, probably most of you, will remember this. The date was February 22nd, 1980. The place was Lake Placid, New York, the site of the 13th Winter Olympics Games. It was the height of the Cold War, and speaking of cold, on the ice of a hockey rink, the underdog U.S. Olympic ice skating team, composed mainly of amateur players, faced the overwhelmingly favorite team from the Soviet Union. How many remember this? Yeah, I thought quite a few of us. It was David versus Goliath on skates. The 4-3 victory by the United States was celebrated as one of the greatest upsets in sports history. In the waning seconds of the game, as victory was assured, announcer Al Michaels, in a quote that still rings through the ages, asked, "Do you believe in miracles?" And then, as the buzzer sounded, ending the game, answered his own question with a resounding yes! So do you believe in miracles? Do you, as officially registered, card-carrying Unitarian Universalists, believe in miracles? Of course you don't. A miracle is generally defined as an event that is not explainable by natural or scientific laws, and therefore is considered to be the work of a divine agency. Now, some of us consider ourselves theists. We like to view life through a spiritual lens and believe that some events can be attributed to a force beyond scientific understanding of the laws of nature. Those people are open to the mystery of things that go beyond what we can see or reason. But most Unitarian Universalists, if pressed on the matter, are rationalists. We believe in science. We believe in logic and order. Even most theists don't believe that Jesus walked on water or rose from the dead, or fed thousands of people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish with baskets of food left over. That would be some trick. We can't even fathom the idea that Moses appeared to God in a burning bush, or that he rained down locusts or caused frogs to enter every house in Egypt, or plunged the world into total darkness. No, we may call ourselves spiritual, but for most of us, if something can be explained rationally or through natural laws, then it is by definition not miraculous. And if it is considered to be miraculous, it must be made up. Throughout Unitarian Universalist history, theologians have addressed the issue of miracles and essentially poured cold water on the idea. William Henry Furness was a 19th century minister and biblical critic who at the age of 22 became the minister of the First Unitarian Church of Philadelphia. He asserted that the miracles attributed to Jesus in the Christian Bible were natural events with rational explanations. Of course he said that. Moreover, he rejected traditional beliefs about the miraculous birth of Jesus, saying, quote, "These stories may have been pure fiction or exaggerations of certain simple and very natural incidents." What a party pooper. None other than Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "I believe in miracles because I can raise my own arm. I believe because I can remember. I believe because I can speak and be understood by you." That's all you got, Waldo? Theodore Parker, a contemporary of Emerson, also poo-pooed the idea of miracles as supernatural occurrences. He also believed that miracles are natural events that can be explained through reason and science, and encouraged individuals to seek understanding and enlightenment rather than relying on miraculous interventions. He said that faith should be grounded in personal experience and ethical living, not in miraculous phenomena. Boring! Well, I don't buy it. I refuse to believe that the U.S. hockey team's dramatic win over the Russians was not a miracle. Keep your natural laws and your rational explanations. your personal experience and ethical living. I can raise my own arm. Big whoop. Where is the wonder? Where is the awe? Where is the mystery that makes life so exciting, so unpredictable, so breathtaking? No, I prefer to believe in miracles. I really do. And I reject the definition of miracles as only those events that defy natural laws. I'll just change the definition. I define a miracle as an event for which I cannot explain in the moment and which inspires awe and wonder and a fierce shaking of the head. And if I use the word miraculous, it's because I can't understand how it happened due to my limited knowledge, or I don't want to understand how it happened due to my need for wonder and awe. Julianne Peters, in her book, Far From Xanadu, wrote, "Miracles don't happen, you make them happen. Miracles are all around us. All we need to do is look. All we need to do is stay aware." The Reverend Kate Braestrup, in her book, Here If You Need Me, asks, quote, "What happens if we define miracles by our awareness? Might we receive more miracles than we ever would have thought possible? What happens if we put down the notion of miracles as purely supernatural, unexplainable events and think of them instead as gifts?" Unquote. And this from Reverend Janet Parsons. "My friends, our lives are full of events that we will never understand. We suffer tragedy, inexplicable losses, pain, and suffering, and we also are granted wonders, help when we weren't expecting it, financial windfalls, and moments of awe-inspiring beauty. Sometimes," she continues, "a wonder is as simple as the light in the sky turning lemon yellow or pink, or a full red moon arising out of the ocean. Are these miracles? Yes, if we notice them, if we are able to say thank you for the gift." If truth be told, due to a combination of family-related stress factors, the physical aches and pains of old age, and the political climate in which we find ourselves today, I have lately been walking through life with my head down, full of doubts and fears, and reluctant to enjoy much of anything. I have walked past miracles every day, not noticing, totally unaware. Shiva and Shakti, the divine couple in Hinduism, are in their heavenly abode, watching over the earth. As they watch, Shakti spies a miserably poor man walking down a road. His clothes are shabby, and his sandals are tied together with a rope. Her heart is filled with compassion. Touched by his struggle, Shakti turns to her divine husband and begs him to give this man some gold. Shiva looks at the man for a long moment. "My dearest wife," he says, "I cannot do that." Shakti is astounded. "Why? What do you mean, husband? You are the Lord of the universe. Why can't you do this simple thing?" "I cannot give this to him because he is not yet ready to receive it," Shiva replies. Shakti becomes angry. "Do you mean to say that you cannot drop a bag of gold in his path?" "Surely I can," Shiva replies, "but that is quite another thing." "Please, husband," pleads Shakti. And so Shiva drops a bag of gold in the man's path. The man, meanwhile, walks along thinking to himself, "I wonder if I will find dinner tonight, or shall I go hungry again?" Turning a bend in the road, he sees something on the path in his way. "Aha!" he says. "Look there, a large rock. How fortunate that I have seen it. I might have torn these poor sandals of mine even further." and carefully stepping over the bag of gold, he goes on his way. In order to see miracles, we have to pay attention. We have to look for the bags of gold and not step over them or fail to see them at all. When I do look up, I see miracles everywhere. The center fielder who takes off at the crack of the bat to run to the exact spot on the field so that the ball meets his glove. The murmuration of hundreds and thousands of birds swooping across the sky in perfect formation. Those craftsmen who put ships in those tiny bottles. My awakening time after time, seconds before my alarm goes off. The dog, lost miles away from her home, who finds her way back to her doorstep. My granddaughter, who knows exactly when her pop-pop needs a hug. Natural laws, rational explanations, science, be damned. These are freaking miracles. Walt Whitman once suggested that every moment of light and dark is a miracle. Moments of light represent happiness, joy, and positivity. They are the moments that bring smiles to our faces, create cherished moments, fill our hearts with glee. Moments of darkness symbolize the challenges, struggles, and difficult times we encounter. They encompass feelings of sadness, despair, and disappointment, but teach us resilience, determination, and perseverance. Negotiating these moments, balancing the light and the dark in order to live our best lives, our most meaningful lives, in order to benefit the lives of others, accomplishing that is a miracle. I would like to end this discourse with a slightly edited version of Walt Whitman's poem entitled Miracles. Why, who makes much of a miracle? As to me, I know of nothing but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just at the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or stand a long while looking at the movement of machinery, or behold children at their sports, or the admirable sight of the perfect old man or the perfect old woman. These with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. What stranger miracles are out there? What indeed? So may it be.
Thank you, Mark, for that inspiring message and for helping us all to open up our definition of miracle. So now is the time in our service when we share our gifts through our shared plate. The recipient for the month of April is World Central Kitchen, which has provided more than 300 million fresh, nourishing meals for communities around the world. Your donation today will be used to support our emergency food relief efforts. Last year, we gave over $1,000. We have a goal of trying to surpass that, so your generosity is much appreciated. And speaking of miracles, the fact that this small spiritual community can have such a large impact in the world, that truly is a miracle. Thank you again for your generosity. So now let's continue our sharing with the sharing of our joys and sorrows. So if you have something that you want to share, I invite you to come forward to this microphone as we all listen attentively and lift one another up in love. While I'm waiting for somebody else to step forward, I'll just begin. Last week I mentioned that my husband Mike, who's not here today, was having a procedure. The procedure went very well, and he is on the mend, and he's looking forward to rejoining us very soon.
Well, I have always believed in miracles, and Gil and I study the Course in Miracles, so we do believe there are miracles large and small, and you really inspired me, Mark, as you always do. But, you know, we did sell our house this past week, and we have a bit of a windfall, so we're going to increase our pledge 20%.
Thank you, Sherry. Nancy?
Sherry and Gil, that doesn't surprise me at all. You've always been extraordinarily generous with your time, energy, and money. So that's always wonderful to hear. I have a joy. My oldest turned 37, which is, you know, but I'm hoping she had a great time. It's funny that the weather, as soon as it was her birthday, the weather took this downturn, and she was out all night. And all I could say in the last minute, and I sounded like such a mom, don't forget to wear something warm, because it's really cold out there. And so we're going to get together again today, and she picked a restaurant that we have to eat outside because there's 5 of us. And they asked us yesterday, you still coming? And I'm like, oh, yes, we are. So I'll be bringing blankets and hoping that no matter what, it's going to be a beautiful event. We always have a great time, but yeah, I wish a little sunshine would, you know, entertain us for a few minutes, but.
Good morning. My name is Bernie Grieger, and unfortunately, our good friends Bill Stroop and Nancy Lesh can't join us today. They're going through quite serious medical issues, so I'm sure you'll join me to wish them all the very best. If you're watching, and to finish off with a joy, thank you.
Thank you, Bernie, for letting us know about Bill and Nancy. We do wish them well. Anyone else? So whether or not you share today for your joys, we in this community join you in celebration. And for all the sorrows and concerns, may you feel our sympathy and compassion. And as we hold those thoughts in our hearts, Avi on video will lead us in Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me.
So before we close our service, I invite you to join me in a meditation. I usually like to encourage you to get comfortable in your seat, sometimes putting your feet on the ground, your hands in your lap, Open your hands, perhaps, because that makes you open to the message, to the Spirit around you. Bow your head, close your eyes, whatever you're comfortable with, but just focus on these words. A tomb is no place to stay, be it a cave in the Judean hills or the dark cavern of the Spirit. A tomb is no place to stay. When fresh grass rolls away the stone of winter cold and valiant flowers burst their way to warmth and light. A tomb is no place to stay. When each morning announces our reprieve and we know we are granted yet another day of living. A tomb is no place to stay. When life laughs a welcome to hearts that have been away too long. Those are the words of Reverend Richard S. Gilbert. So, as we break the meditation, I invite you to join me in the closing song and rise in body or spirit. We'll be singing hymn 121, We'll Build a Land. Avi's on video, but you have the lyrics in a handout.
Please join me in singing our closing hymn, number 121 from our hymnal, We'll Build a Land. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where siblings in spirit, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where siblings in spirit, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from mold, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where siblings in spirit, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build a land, my people we seek. Come, build a land where siblings in spirit, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
I like the fact that Avi adapted those lyrics just a little bit, and where he said we were reading sisters and brothers. Did you hear him say siblings in spirit? Siblings in spirit. It really is a great sentiment, and we owe Avi a debt of gratitude for opening us up to that sentiment. So now we'll extinguish the chalice as I read these words. The flame is extinguished, but its work continues in our small acts, in our willingness to begin again, and in the way we love each other into courage. May we choose to take another step, even when we can't see the entire way. Those were the words of Reverend Michelle Collins, one of our favorite sources for inspiring words. That concludes our service this morning. For those of you on Zoom, we are thankful that you were joining us today, and we hope to see you again next week. In the meantime, I'd like to express our gratitude to Mark Bernstein for the message this morning and invite him to linger after the service to greet those who'd like to share their individual thoughts and thanks. And I'd like to invite everyone here in person to join us in the cafeteria for coffee, fellowship, and conversation. Go now in peace. Amen and blessed be. Yes, it feels like winter out there, but spring is on its way back, and soon after that, summer. So thank you for being here.